Hey, thanks for watching today. We're going to talk about some tax investing news here at the end of the year. We're basically through a lot of the annual seasons that happen, but there's still a lot to look at, a lot of auctions. We've got a couple new states to show you today, and we also have a new feature, new dashboard on the site to show you. So we'll just jump in and get going today and start with the market totals. Basically, we're looking at 58,692 properties that have been added in the last couple weeks. 47,948 of those are tax liens, about 8,000 deeds, almost 3,000 foreclosures, and just 21 land bank properties. As far as breaking this down by state, if we say foreclosures, for instance, we have 1,200 of those roughly in Pennsylvania, followed by Florida, 700, and then a lot of other states here with fewer, all the way down to Louisiana with just one property. So won't read all these out to you. You can see them for yourself. The over-the-counter ads. Pennsylvania is also in the lead on this one with a couple thousand. Missouri was pretty close behind with some of those post-third sales. Then Florida would have been OTC liens mostly, and then Maryland had a lot of OTC liens added as well. And then the remaining states, not quite as many. And the big table is our auction properties. New Jersey added 40,000 tax lien properties to auction in the last few weeks. South Carolina announced some of their last auctions with a little over 5,000, and then it drops pretty drastically down to Florida with 1,100, which are tax deeds. Georgia, 842 tax deeds. Pennsylvania, around 800 tax deeds, and then moving on down the list, there's just a lot of states here you can read and just check them out for yourself. We will be covering the states in this video also, so we'll just move on and take a look at. Basically, I wanted to show you that table totals up to 51,337 of the properties that were added. So mostly tax liens. I'm sorry, tax auction properties. my bad. But the auctions really took the cake this week. And on that note, for auctions in 2024, we've tracked over 10,000 this year. We'll be looking at tracking even more next year. We're excited about the growth of this site, getting up to 29 states now. And we do change, update daily. That means we're not only adding auctions and closing them out, but we are tracking their redemptions as the auction approaches. Properties fall off those lists, and you want to have those redemptions removed so you don't research properties that aren't going to be available for you. Right now, there are 1,366 upcoming auctions being tracked. It goes into 2025 pretty far at this point, up to June, I think, is the latest we have in 2025. So the next 6-7 months worth of auctions. And today we're going to focus on this red column here on our trusty auction calendar. It's basically December. You'll notice that all of these seasons are pretty much out of the way now. So we're talking about mostly states that have year-round auctions, and I haven't even added all the states to this yet because we have just some brand new states to talk about. So when you log into Parcel Fair now, you will see a brand new dashboard, which is available also in the home button here. And basically, this is your dashboard to show you your favorites, your saved lists, and your price quotes at the very top, just to kind of engage you into what you're working on. We have some quick link buttons to the map and the list and the auction calendar, which are our three most used features on this site for finding parcels. And then we have two tables here, one of deeds and foreclosure auctions and one of the tax lien auctions. And this is just a sampling of the top auctions with the most properties in the coming months. So you won't see every auction here, just the ones that have sizable numbers of parcels. We do show you that some of these are in person or online. So some of that detail here available to you. And if you want to drill into any one of these auctions, you can just click on this little magnifying glass and throw it over to a map or a list, up to you. And let's see if we wanted to see like this. Let's take we'll take Philadelphia and throw it to a list real quick. And so that gives you a quick look at what's available in that upcoming auction. And then below that, we have the top OTC markets. We show a few more of these just because there's a lot of depth here. But if you wanted to know which markets are the largest, you can see, first of all, on the left side, we have the deed and land bank markets, 31,000 properties available across all of these markets. On the right column over here, the tax lien markets with 54,000 tax liens scattered across these markets. So this gives you a way to dig in and look. You can view on map or view the list on any one of these OTC markets and jump right into your research. So hopefully this page gives you a nice jumping off point to get your research started. And when you log in, hopefully this is useful for you. So give us some feedback on it. The only thing I can guarantee is that this will be changing probably frequently, and as we add and just tweak things, because we're constantly taking feedback and trying to improve these things. On that note, let's move on to Delaware. We have sheriff sales. This is our newest state. It's tax deed state with a 60-day redemption period, 15% interest and penalty, not prorated. I'll get on my soapbox for a second here. I won't bore you too much, but a lot of people avoid states that have a redemption period on their deeds. I don't think 60 days is unreasonable, especially if you're getting 15% penalty interest, not prorated. That means if the owner redeems on day one or day 59, you get your 15% on either way. It's not prorated per month or anything. So again, 60-day redemption, 50% interest. That's I think a good deal. One quick note, just so you know, these sheriff sales do have a mixture of foreclosures. This is kind of like Ohio and some of the states where they'll throw foreclosures in the sheriff sales. So, look at the properties you're buying, make sure you understand it. We'll show you how in a second. But the upcoming auctions, we've already finished our first one last week. And then we have 6 upcoming through February. There's only 3 counties, so you're going to see kind of some repetition here. Same counties over and over again. But let's go open up our auction calendar. This is the best place to view Delaware if you're getting started, is take a look at the auctions that are coming up. I believe Kent sheriff sales, they're the only county, if I remember right, that is not putting tax deeds in their sheriff sales. So they'll probably have some annual sales later in the year in 2025. But if we wanted to check out, let's say, Newcastle and see properties there, we can see everything in the auction if we want to, or everything in the county, which is all the upcoming auctions, and basically research it like any other place we're looking at. This is Wilmington, Delaware, to be exact. And here's an example of a couple tax deeds that are available. We can also click on the right side panel and we see a house here. And what we're looking at is this house behind the tree. The value is $331. And what I want to do is go straight to this purchase option where the sheriff sale is being advertised. And let's check out that auction list. So this is where the advertisement is made public. And you can click on any of these properties to go see more details about this. The approximate judgment of $0. Sometimes there's not an amount due available, so we don't know the opening bid. But this is a good place to go find out more about the property. And you should notice that these are in person. This is the location. This is the date and time. That's actually tomorrow. So not much time to research this one. But that is in a nutshell how you would go about looking at Delaware. Of course, you can filter your counties here on the map, look around that way, and use all your usual filters, improvements. We can check for vacant land, all that stuff. So let's move on to another new state this week, Minnesota. This is maybe getting ahead of ourselves. We just added the first auction today, but these are tax deed auctions with no redemption period that we're tracking. So again, if you're looking for no redemption, this is even better than Delaware. But again, Delaware's not so bad with only 60 days redemption. In Minnesota terminology, let's go through this, because if you're on their website, you might get tripped up. A lot of states have their own terminology. So they tend to call tax deeds their tax forfeited parcels, and they tend to call their tax deed auctions tax forfeiture auctions. And right now, I mentioned we added one scheduled auction to our site, Cottonwood, and it's actually already taking bids and closing out, I think, in early January. And so we will have more counties to come. I will give you a peek, though, of Minnesota. This is a great place to look for the auctions, is the auction calendar. Here's the 10 properties in Cottonwood, and we'll just view them on a map like this. Let's find this one. Let's view it. And we're going to see it is on public surplus is where the auction is. You can click these 2 links to go to more information. So that is all we're going to do today on Minnesota. Be looking for some growth here. There's going to be a lot more auctions coming up. I think we'll add another one this week, maybe 2 more, and then a lot coming next year. Washington, it continues to impress us with a nice, hefty schedule. These are the counties that are auctioning in December. And most of these are tax sales. I think actually the sheriff sales completed for the month. And so without boring you reading all these to you, I'm going to show you on the right panel, King County. We call it out separately because they kind of march to their own drum. Those are sheriff sales, except for December 19th is a tax sale. But that calendar goes through the end of January currently. And let's take a look at Washington. So yeah, 18 auctions in December. There's the complete ones. Moving on to the two today, and they look like they're all online. So we're just sort of surfing through these. And moving into January, we have 5 auctions, all the way to January 28th. So this bottom one, Kitsap, is getting a lot of attention from people. Most of our requests for Washington counties have included this one. So I'll show you that one. It's this area here. Where let me get my bearings. Oh, yeah, we're really close to Seattle and Canada. But if I draw the county borders, we can see we're talking about this county, kind of this looks like a dolphin's fin or a shark's fin, whichever one you prefer. And let's click on one of these properties and go into the details. Just cutting straight to the chase, 6 acres, $360,000. It has a $222,000 structure improvement on it. If we want to see auction details, this one's also at public surplus. And January 28th, $16,000 are the taxes due. You can click on auction info here to see more about this auction. And the whole list is actually right here if you want to see everything in the auction. And as usual, we have a property card link and a GIS map. We try to get that on every county whenever we can. Lots of details available on the county site here, even down to the sales history, about the land. You can see a lot of different photos and sketches yeah, they do have photos and sketches. So research links, don't forget those. Those help you out, especially when the Google Street View is not there. Sometimes the property card will give you photos. Moving along. South Carolina, we have the closing out the fall season. We have a few more left to go in December. Orangeburg today, actually, Spartanburg tomorrow, and Greenville the 16th. And when these run out, don't forget we do have foreclosures for South Carolina on Parcel Fair as well. Let's see, just so you see the calendar for that. South Carolina. We're looking at all auction types right now. We can filter down to just the tax auctions and see December. Here's the last 3. If we want to see foreclosures only, we'll just go foreclosures only. 26 of those auctions in December so far, 19 scheduled in January. This looks like it rolls out into March already. So we have foreclosures into March, spilling into March now. Georgia, one of our other new states, these are tax deed sales that go all year. We're in our 3rd month tracking some of their auctions. I'll admit we're in kind of the dead season of Georgia because we only are looking at 2 auctions coming up right now, Chatham and DeKalb. But last month we had more, and I expect a lot more coming out next year. In fact, these 2 upcoming auctions are next year. The next one is on January 7th. They are in-person tax deed auctions, and we would love your requests for other county auctions. If you know of an auction coming up in Georgia that we haven't found yet, there's like 160 counties there. We are tracking a lot of them, but you might find one that we don't know about. So share it with us, and we would be happy to put it on the site for you. Here's Georgia's calendar. The December we tracked 6 auctions, November 4, and then January we have the one coming up. And then in April, we have one more for DeKalb, which is actually a larger, bigger auction coming up. 577 parcels in that one. Pennsylvania, another state with a hefty auction schedule. We have 4 types. The tax deed upset sales that completed already. We've tracked some of those. Private sales are basically leftovers that you can buy direct from the county, usually sealed bids. Judicial sales and sheriff sales are kind of where we're looking this time of year. We have 80 plus of those upcoming. We're always adding more. And then repository sales and over-the-counter deeds, that was our big addition in the last couple of weeks. So if you haven't looked through those yet, there's thousands of properties available as repository sales. Most of them are over-the-counter. A few of them are repository auction. So send us county requests if this is a good market for you. If you want to see more in Pennsylvania, we like it. We're adding a lot. So we tracked 23 auctions in November, 20 in December. A lot of them are remaining here. Some of them, they range from 12 parcels to over 130 parcels. January, we already have a nice slate here starting to line up. A lot of Philadelphia sheriff sales and so on, a few tax sales in the mix. And this calendar, wow, because so we have February, March, April. We're all the way into June on this calendar. So if you're already shopping for June, you can do that here. Next up, Colorado. The fall tax lien auction season is complete. We just tracked the last one. I think it was last week. It was finished it. So now that the lien auctions are over, you can, of course, shop for over-the-counter liens that are available to purchase directly from the counties. And we add these constantly, but as the auctions have been completing, more and more have shown up. We expect more OTCs to continue to show up. Don't forget the foreclosure auctions in Colorado. We're tracking 9 in December and 11 more in January. We do have an off-season investing video for Colorado. Now that we're in the off-season, that might make sense if you want to check out things that are not part of the annual tax lien auctions. So here's the end of the season. Looks like it wrapped up on December 4th. And so let's go look at just foreclosures now. There are foreclosures going out all the way through April. So into April, again, 2025, right on our doorstep here. We're getting close. So keep an eye out on those foreclosure auctions in Colorado. Indiana, the fall treasure sales are complete. They just wrapped up a couple of weeks ago. 92 auctions in the book for the fall auctions in 2024. Spring commissioner sales are already being announced. February 13th kicks off the season with Fulton, unless somebody else announces in the next few weeks. And then foreclosure sales in Indiana, don't forget those. 18 in December scheduled. They're taking a little hiatus this month because in January they're bouncing right back with 51 already scheduled. That will probably go up. Indiana on the auction calendar. And let's look at those tax auctions coming up next year. We see Fulton kicks off. We already have the parcels for that. That's the first auction to show up. That must have happened today. So we can take a look at some of these tax lien commissioner sales. Yeah, there we go. All the way down to the instructions right here to show you it's in the commissioner's meeting room on February 13th. $25 taxes due on that property. So that's great. We have our first of the commissioner sales is here, and some others have been announced. They just don't have lists yet. And of course, if you want to see foreclosures, just go to the top of the calendar, click foreclosures only, and now you'll see those counties with sales. New Jersey, just a quick comparison here that as this season continues, there are 33,259 tax liens still available for December auctions. And this year we're tracking 88 auctions in December. I don't think they'll announce any more. I think anything announced now would fall into January. But it's definitely the peak season of the year into December. Let's check that out on the calendar. Let's see New Jersey. And 88 auctions this month. Nothing scheduled yet in January, but you can see a lot of these remaining. Some of these auctions can get pretty big with thousands of parcels like this one, Patterson. There's only one T. Some of them are pretty small, 7, 10, 11 parcels. Trenton and West New York 2024 are here. Those have thousands. I mean, December 16th, there are 3 auctions with thousands of parcels. That's great. Then December 17th, another 3,000 parcel auction with Hamilton. So there are a lot of places for you to spread your bids around. And you'll notice we have the online auction indicator on all of these, which means you don't have to leave your house. You can even just stay wherever you are. Don't travel to New Jersey, and you can still invest there. A very healthy month for December. This is probably where a lot of people will be putting their attention if they invest in tax liens, and just so much variety. And don't miss out. Texas. Okay, so monthly auctions. We tracked 83 in December, our largest month yet. They've released 5 auctions for January 7th so far. December just wrapped last Tuesday, so that we're still kind of fresh off of the December ones. I don't know if we expect a lot in January. This is our first year tracking Texas, so we'll see how many they add. These are tax deeds that are available via judicious sales, sheriff sales, constable sales, and struck off properties. It's the struck off properties a lot of times go back to auction, and so we track those whenever they get scheduled. We do track more than 125 counties now as far as mapping and everything else, and we'll keep adding those. That's all the counties that we've seen with auctions ever since sometime in the summer. So We're just waiting for more counties to release auctions to add them. Not every county has a property to auction each month, so obviously some months don't have very many auctions. And more auctions are on the way. And we do have a Texas tax investing video. That's a mouthful. So check that out if you want to learn more about how the state works. I'm not going to show you the auction calendar on this. There's with only 5 auctions. We're going to move on. Ohio, throughout the year, we just have a lot of auctions here. These are the tax deed and foreclosure auctions. Sometimes they're called sheriff sales. There are already 115 auctions announced for December so far. I'm sure more will be showing up in December and January. We have 55 already scheduled in January, and we have a video on this channel if you want to go learn about Ohio and how those auctions work. In the meantime, let's go check out the calendar. Let's see how far out this goes. 115 in December, 127 in November, just for comparison. Then January, February, March. So this calendar rolls out into April for now. Not much in March and April yet, but if you want to look ahead, you can start doing that. New Mexico, 3 auctions this month scheduled. One of them's already complete, 2 remaining. So we do have a video to help you out on New Mexico if you want to learn about it. Meantime, I will just show you. Here's the calendar. It matches what we just showed. 192 parcels in the second auction, Otero here, and the first one, Donna Anna, has 79 parcels. So not too small, not too big. California, we've been tracking, and here's basically our first auctions are in the book. Here's the upcoming auctions. We're going to show you the ones that we've already tracked first, just to show you everything. But December 7th, Los Angeles. It closes out on the 10th, so bidding is still happening right now. Now, January 24th, we have Calaveras County. But our little mystery auction here, this is a Los Angeles sealed bid auction with no date yet, and it's invitation only. We're not nearly cool enough to get an invitation to this. So if you get an invitation and want us to track the properties for you, feel free to share them. But I don't think we'll have this auction on the site. And I honestly don't even know how to get invited to it. But we do have more auctions coming this winter and spring. So let's just peek at the calendar. Again, the 7th started that auction in Los Angeles, and now we have the one on January 24th. So it's not a ton to look at right now. Tennessee, we just made a video for this actually, showing 3 auctions around the Nashville area. And these are tax deeds. We have the 12th, Benton County, 14th, Sumner, 18th, Davidson. So that closes out December. January 15th, we have Davidson scheduled again. It's a maybe because they tend to cancel. January 28th, we have a big auction for Shelby, 1,200 plus parcels. April 8th, another Shelby auction, 1,800 plus parcels in that one. So on the note, Shelby County has the only OTCs in the state. There's several thousand of those. But check those out. We also have the video. Let's see. Here's Tennessee. The calendar's here, 234 for Benton. It's online. The other 2, Sumner and Davidson, this month are in person. They're all kind of around the Nashville area, so we made a special video just about these auctions and how it works. So this channel has the video. If you like Tennessee and want to learn about that, especially the Nashville area hot market, go check that video out and give it a look. North Carolina, tons of auctions. We have added new counties, and 148 auctions are scheduled for December so far, 51 more in January. There's a video for it. Go figure. We have videos for almost all these states, but we do have an intro to North Carolina video. It's going to go through the 3 types of auctions we have: the pending auctions that aren't scheduled, which you can still view, the scheduled auctions, which of course you're shopping from, and then the upset bids, which is a unique process for North Carolina. And so if you want to learn how North Carolina works in detail, check out our video on that. It's going to give you a nice deep dive. Florida, definitely the most active state month by month. The county the county held over-the-counter liens are available year-round. We had a big update over the summer, and Highlands OTC liens moved websites. We pulled the new site. I'll be honest, the website and the buying process are kind of convoluted. We put steps on our site to help you. There's a few thousand properties, I think 5,000 liens. 5,000 properties, and a lot of them have multiple liens on them. So it's over 10,000 liens, I'll say that. So check out Highlands if you're buying OTC in Florida. If you're buying tax deeds in Florida, there are 52 scheduled auctions for December already and 44 January. This calendar for tax deed auctions already goes through May 2025. Same thing for foreclosure auctions in Florida. The calendar goes through May 2025. And there are 244 of those foreclosure auctions scheduled in December and 255 already scheduled for January. Lots of ways to buy in Florida, and don't forget the over-the-counter. I mentioned the liens, but don't forget our over-the-counter deeds as well. Virginia, the small auction offering in December, 5 auctions, 2 down, 3 to go. And I don't know if they'll add any more. Probably January is our next window for auctions there. Don't forget, we do have photo video scouting services there, and you can use those on our website. When you're looking at a property, just click the button that says photo video scouting services. And we do have a video about tax deed auctions in Virginia to check out. It's on this channel. Michigan's kind of dead right now. We did a big debut in 2024 for us. Michigan's new to us. 107 annual tax deed auctions we completed. We did the reoffer sales. There were 35 of those. And then the no reserve sales we also completed. Those were 52 of those. Happened in November. And next up, we're trying to get surplus properties and land banks as soon as we can figure out how to buy them. So we found some lists. We just don't understand the steps to buy well enough to pass it on as something we can support yet. So feel free to do it yourself in the meantime, but we will be adding surplus properties and land banks in the future to our site for Michigan. And we do have a tax investing video for Michigan on this channel if you want to see it. Alabama, it's kind of a dead part of the year, but don't forget there's almost 18,000 over-the-counter properties available from over-the-counter deeds, over-the-counter liens in a few counties, and then land banks. And there's resellers. They update frequently, as in every day. So check out the latest available in the reseller market if you want to see on our site how to buy some of those properties direct from resellers. You don't have to wait at all. You can just buy direct. We have an off-season investing video that will help you through that on this channel. It goes through a lot more than what I just said. So if you want to know more, watch that video. This is our nice Alabama custom-made calendar where you can see the auctions in the top level there, 2 types. In the middle band, you have over-the-counters, and at the bottom, you have resellers and land banks. We're going to put the red dot on the far right. We have reached the end of 2024, so that means next up, we'll be getting auction lists next month for the spring auction. So Alabama will be back in season before you know it. Arkansas, the 2024 auction season completed a couple months ago, and September, and we're talking about over-the-counter tax deeds now. These are leftovers that you can buy on the site from Arkansas through auction. So the point here, the first line is that from January through July, they averaged about 20 tax deeds added per month. It was a trickle. And then things blew up in August. They added 361 leftover tax deeds, 345 in September, 693 in October. And November, we kind of get back to our average, or back to a trickle of 24 added in November, and only 9 added so far in December. So I think we're back to that part of the year where you can expect an average of 20 deeds added per month. There's still a lot to shop through, though. And again, you're buying this from the Commissioner of State Lands. They do these little mini auctions that run every day. So you bid on a property, it kicks off an auction for 30 days. And if you win the property, you get the tax deed with no redemption. Mississippi, also over-the-counter season tax deeds from the Tax Forfeited Lands Division. There are 6,692 currently available. Another illustration just to show you the majority of over-the-counter deeds in Mississippi were added between the months of September and October and November. I don't know why we had a spike in May also, but that's, something. So this kind of gives you the 2024 overview of when properties showed up over the counter. I don't know if that will project out to 2025 or not, but it's something, we're going to use past performance here just to try to predict as best we can. It seems like the fall is the time of year to expect new OTCs. So again, about almost 7,000 of those to shop from on our site right now. Louisiana is running 11 upcoming sheriff sales, 14 upcoming adjudicated sales. We don't have any tax lien sales coming up right now. But those adjudicated sales, just know that when they're not scheduled yet, they're going to show up on our site as pending auction. You kick off the auction by placing your deposit, and be sure you read and understand those rules. It is unique. We also have over-the-counter properties in Louisiana from the New Orleans Redevelopment Authority. we'll actually take a look at this auction calendar. I've skipped a lot of these today just because they're small, but there's enough to look at here. You can get a good feel for the size of these auctions. Some of them are very small. Some of these, well, let's see. I guess there's not a pattern, but just a variety. It looks like our auction calendar goes through February currently, a mixture of sheriff sales and adjudicated sales. So there you go. Maryland tax lien auction season has ended. There are still OTC liens available. In fact, we've had two major drops in the last 2 months, 653 in November, 640 in December. And I think November, those were actually liens moving from one inventory to another. So I'm not sure they were exactly new, but they are available either way. We have photo video scouting services available in Maryland. So take advantage of that if you need to have someone check out a property for you. Arizona OTC season, hands down, we're way into it. 34,734 OTC properties available. That's liens and deeds. And don't forget, some of these properties have many liens on them. So the actual number of liens is much bigger than 34,000. I'm just counting by properties to keep it simple here. And the off-season list: Missouri, Iowa, Nevada, Oklahoma, Utah. We're adding OTCs periodically. We just added some from Missouri, actually. But send us your OTC request. If you know where there's some OTCs and you don't see them on our site, we'll be happy to add them for you so you can save time researching them. And that closes us out on the fastest tax investing news video ever. So I hope you enjoyed this. Give us some feedback if you did. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We love feedback about how we're doing with this content and if it's useful to you. Have a great week, and thanks again for watching.